All right, guys, welcome back. CFI patch drill of the week. This week is the X drill. Now, you've probably seen some variations on this one before. What we're doing is we're going to set up two CFI targets 2 feet apart from one another. All right, and the way the drill runs, we're going to draw, fire 2 shots to the head circle on target 1, 2 shots to the tee box on target 2, 2 shots to the head box on target 2, and then one more set of 2 on the tee box at target 1. So again, your shooting pattern essentially looks like an X, hence the name X drill. We're working on throttle, we're working precision, we're working on the control we're exerting with our support hand and keeping our eyes tracking ahead of our sights and confirming just enough. So we're going to run this one real quick, and then we're going to come back on the full video and go over some tips and tricks on how to run it, right? Let's go. All right, guys, let's talk times before we talk tips and tricks. So white patch for this drill, 7.5 seconds. And again, these are all clean, as always. Red patch is a 5.1. A blue patch is a very doable 4.35. But that's the name of the game. It's how we shoot it every single week. So this is a great week, a great opportunity for those of you who are good at working your throttles and working your confirmation levels and your trigger finger control to really lock in a blue patch. So let's talk about some tips on what made it easiest for me to run the blue patch times and what you can probably use to move from white to red, red to blue. Number one, we've got to rely on our support hand for our recoil mitigation. Nearly every miss on my trial runs that I threw, I noticed that I was starting to rely on my firing hand for recoil control. I was tightening it up too much, and running at those sub-quarter second speeds on that tee box, I was starting to overpower my support hand, throwing misses off to the left. So that's number one. If your support hand, if you run this whole drill through a couple times and your support arm is not tired from the level that you're crushing it down, not squeezing it tight enough, right? Number two, moving the 3 feet between these two center targets is not a lot of space, guys. Don't overdo it. If you're finding a lot of tension in the chest, in the core, in the shoulders, if you're pushing that gun across, you're going to have a lot of slop to clean up, and your movement is not going to be controlled enough to immediately identify the sight and begin pressing those shots as soon as it's in that acceptable zone, right? So we want to be aggressive on those larger targets, getting down to them. But that doesn't mean we should be throwing that gun over. You're going to be causing more harm than good. And finally, and probably the most important one for me, when I started noticing that the control wasn't where I wanted it to be, the very first thing I did is I slowed down ever so slightly on how fast I was shooting the tee box shots. Only you know how fast you can comfortably keep your eyes in front of your sights, in front of your gun, guiding the gun across. Everybody, particularly those who are newer to shooting at speed, is capable of yanking their trigger faster than their eyes are capable of processing their sights, all right? So if you notice that you start feeling really out of control, like your eyes are almost being yanked across by the gun and you're not finding your sights, you're not finding your dot, and you're feeling like you're getting a lot of misses and less control on target, the first thing you can try doing is just taking 10% off of the speed with which you are taking those shots at your tee boxes, okay? It's very tempting to slap the trigger as fast as humanly possible, but I'm telling you, if you just take a little bit off of that, see if it doesn't put you back in the driver's seat and allow you to more confidently drive the gun and the sights where they need to go, with the eyes leading the way instead of responding to the gun. All right, try those out, guys. See if you can move from white to red, red to blue. And as always, if you get the blue, film it, tag us, and we will send you that sticker and give you that big fat shout out. All right, guys, have fun.